is Fernando, and this is my presentation on the start of the end, the events that I consider led to the end of World War II. So, on April 30th, 1945, Hitler would commit suicide, which would lead to the surrender of Germany on May 7th, 1945. The war wouldn't officially end, though, until September 2nd, 1945, when Japan would finally sign the documents of their surrender. That did not help the death toll whatsoever, though, because at the end of the day, 60 million people would die in this war, and 45 million of those being civilians. I believe that because of this, World War II is considered one of the worst wars in human history, and it is because of that which I feel like we should understand better the lengths at which these people went through in order to be able to end this war. America's involvement is what is somewhat considered the end of World War II, and as such, I'll be going over Pearl Harbor, D-Day, and the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So on December 7th, 1941, the Japanese would attack Pearl Harbor, and it's somewhat a surprise attack. The reason why I say somewhat is because in an academic journal written by Paul Burtness and Warren Ober, it is noted that American officials were somewhat provoking Japan, whether that be through economic sanctions or through leaked press of one of the generals basically threatening to firebomb Japanese homes if it ever came to a war. Because of that and a bunch of other provocations, it was seen that Japanese officials were burning diplomatic codes, which is kind of seen as a clear sign of there's a war that's about to happen. Either way, though, nobody took the Japanese seriously at all. An extreme example of this is a radar official who was told, "Don't worry about it," when he saw on his monitor that there were a bunch of planes coming in. Overall, though, the Japanese would end up attacking Pearl Harbor, killing about 2,000 military personnel as well as 68 civilians. Because of this attack, America would finally be able to have something to rally against and be able to actually join the war. Ooh, sorry. Oh, I didn't even know. Okay. Now we go into D-Day, which was really stressful going up to this D-Day. The reason why it was so stressful was bad weather. It is around this time of June, July, that which everybody knew the weather was very unpredictable. In fact, it was so unpredictable that which a couple days before the initial planned attack of June 5th, that which they would have to delay the attack by an entire 24 hours because of how bad the weather got. That morning of June 5th, though, they will be told that there would be a golden moment on June 6th, in which, in an academic journal written by Carlo D'Este, it was noted that all the men in that war room cheered, in which was really strange for middle-aged men to cheer. Stagg, the head meteorologist at the time, was immediately asked a bunch of questions about this magical golden hour, in which he basically stated that if he was going to answer that question, he would be a guesser, he would not be a meteorologist. Either way though, General Eisenhower would give the all clear to go ahead with the attack, in which we all know today that it was successful. 156,000 troops would end up storming 5 beaches, and by June 11th, 300,000 troops would be on those beaches. This is considered the beginning of the end when it comes to the Eastern Front. It is not considered the beginning of the end, though, when it comes to the Asian Front. Now, all the way back in 1940, the production of a nuclear bomb was already in production because the researchers there were very worried about Nazi Germany and their research in nuclear weapons. Because of that, they were given the go-ahead to research on uranium-235 and plutonium, which at the time was considered the materials that would be used to make the bomb. Because of the Japanese mentality of never surrender, the president at the time decided that it would be nuclear bombs to be able to hopefully end the war easily. And so, because of that, on July 6th, because of that, Hiroshima will be first hit on August 6, 1945, which had a population of 350,000 people. Of those 350,000 people, 70,000 died at least. On August 9th, Nagasaki would be hit because the reaction in Hiroshima did not ultimately lead into surrender, and 60,000 people would die in Nagasaki. From there, on August 15th is when Japan would finally surrender, and September 2nd would be when the documents were fully signed, making it 6 years and 1 day the war lasted. This war is really important, and all of the events that I talked about, including their death tolls, are only 0.22% of the total death toll of World War II. If already as it is, based on everything that which I just said, and a lot more that which is left unsaid, if this is what World War II was like, then what necessarily would World War III be? Which is a very big question that a lot of people ask, and it's the reason why every country is trying to avoid World War III. That is its ideal.